Hello everyone, thank you all so much for being here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jonathan Walton. I'm the group pastor at Point Church, and I just want to share a little thought with you today. Philippians 4:6 says, "Be anxious for nothing, be careful for nothing, don't worry about anything." And I know, believe me, I know, in times of crisis, it's difficult, nearly impossible to not worry. Most of humanity does feel uneasy about uncertainty. Some of us are worried about our family or friends right now who are at a higher risk for this virus. Some of us are worried about how long we'll have to go without a paycheck. Others are concerned about not being able to check on their loved ones because they're hospitalized or living in a nursing home. And I know that there are many other worries as well. And that's the point, isn't it? There are countless issues that are concerning so many at this time. And Paul speaks into this chaos and concern, and he says, stop being upset. Don't worry. I mean, Paul was a smart guy. Didn't he know that that's kind of impossible in moments like these? It's easy to write, it's easy for him to write this command. He was an apostle. This would have been easy. His life was just a breeze. Except it wasn't. At the time that he was writing this from a prison in the midst of Rome, a prison that was known for torturing prisoners, especially foreign prisoners at that day and time. No doubt he was in great pain as he was writing this, and he was awaiting a trial that would determine whether he would live or whether he would die. It was a very dark, uncertain, and no doubt discouraging time in his life. This was not some guy who always had it easy telling everyone else what it's like to try to get through a struggle. No, this was Paul, who had been beaten with 39 stripes on 5 different occasions. He had been severely beaten with rods 3 different times. He had been stoned outside of Lystra and left for dead. He had been shipwrecked on 3 different occasions, almost drowning once, and he'd even been bitten by a viper. He had been fought by hell, hated by the enemy, betrayed by friends, starved, left naked and out in the cold, and spent more time in prison than most modern-day felons. It was this Paul who was penning the words, "Don't worry." That context kind of changes our perspective, doesn't it? Maybe, just maybe, Paul had a little bit deeper insight than most of us. I think he did. And I think this deeper understanding hinges on one 3-letter word, but. Don't be anxious about anything, but pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for what you already have. Paul commanded the church to do something seemingly impossible, but then he gave them a method that made the impossible probable. We receive supernatural peace when we open an ongoing dialogue with our Creator. We speak and then listen. This is a verbal expression followed by a silence of heart and mind that allows the peace of God to permeate our existence. It's only then that faith replaces fear and godly persuasion replaces panic. I talked with the owner of a business once, and he expressed this extra concern that he has that his common employees do not share. He said, as the leader of the organization, I'm responsible for keeping the company productive and caring for the needs of my employees. He mentioned that the average employee doesn't know the ebbs and the flows of the business, the time that it's doing well and the times that it's not doing well at all. Most of them just live their lives the best they can and depend on him to keep the company moving forward and see the big picture. He said most of the time a regular employee is not concerned or even aware of the dangers going on in the business. And he said this, because it's not their place to worry. What if we approach the kingdom of God with the same idea? It's His kingdom. This is His world. We are His creations, and I'm here to serve Him the best that I can. How He does and what He allows, that's all up to Him. And I am just a servant in His hands. What if I could approach it with that? God, do whatever you desire to do, what you want to take place on this earth. Just let me be a part of what you're doing. How much more peace would come in that situation? God, He has me in His hands, and all I need to do is just walk by faith and simply trust Him. He knows what He's doing. He's been God a really long time. So I encourage you today, put your trust and your faith, your confidence in God, and understand that although times may seem a little rough, God knows how to take everything that's bad and use it to bring something good from it in your life. God's always up to something. I can promise you that. I love you guys. Till next time.